Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ainul Izzat bin Ainul Hashimi Ismail from class KBA 243-5B and my matrix number is 2021855926.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Fairuz Nawasna binti Saudi. I am from KBA 2435B. My matrix number is 2021492236.
My name is Mazatul Husna from KBA 2435B.
Termination of employment is an employee's departure from a job and the end of employee's duration with an employer. Termination may be voluntary on the employee's part, that is resignation, or it may be at the hands of the employer, often in the form of dismissal, that is firing, or a layoff. Reasons of termination. Firstly, valid reasons consist of two, that are business-related issues and behavior-related issues. For business-related issues, change of business ownership and refusal by employee to transfer. Meanwhile, for behavior-related issues, workplace discipline and criminal conviction. Meanwhile, for unfair reasons, Industrial Relations Act 1967 protects against unjust dismissal. Also, Malaysian employers must demonstrate just cause and excuse for termination. And lastly, the Malaysian Industrial Court recommends remedies for unfair dismissal.
Now I will talk about the dismissal procedure. According to Section 20 Clause 1 of the Industrial Relations Act 1967, an employee can only be dismissed with just cause or excuses. With this, just cause or excuse is not defined by the stated valid reason for dismissal included gross misconduct on the part of the employee, redundancy, poor performance, and negligence. The Employment Act 1950I requires Malaysian employers to give due notice when terminating an employment agreement by according to Section 12 of the Employment Act 1955. The notice is to provide the employees to be terminated with justification for the dismissal. Notice must be given within the period stated in the contract of service and employees must abide by the statutory notice period by according to Section 12 Clause C of the Employment Act 1955. The required notice period should be detailed in the employment agreement. Employers should follow the minimum notice periods as set out in the Employment Act 1955. First is 4 weeks notice if employed for less than 2 years. Second is 6 weeks notice if employed for 2 years or more but less than 5 years. And lastly, 8 weeks notice if employed for 5 years or more. Let's move on to termination procedure. First, the employee must provide the employee with a termination notice by stating the reasons for termination. Second, employee must be given time to give an explanation. Third, employee must respond to the explanation. And fourth, if an agreement is not reached, a domestic inquiry should be scheduled. And fifth, the domestic inquiry must be conducted by the people who do not directly engage with the employee to investigate the facts about the misconduct, breach of contract, or poor performance. And sixth, witnesses may be summoned if relevant. And lastly, records of the proceedings must be kept. That's all about the procedure of termination.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the advantages of the employee terminations. First is performance improvement. If an employee is consistently underperforming despite the effort to address the issues, termination may be necessary to bring in a more qualified and productive team members. This allows the organizations to maintain or to improve overall performance. Next is cost saving. In case of downsizing or restructuring, termination employees may help organizations to cut the costs, particularly if they are facing financial challenges. This can include like saving on salaries, benefits, and other associated expenses. Lastly is legal compliance. If an employee engages in serious misconduct or violates company policies, terminating their employment can help the organization maintain legal compliance. This is particularly important in situations involving harassment, fraud, or other unethical behavior. Okay, next I'm going to discuss about the disadvantages of employee termination. Number one is legal risk. Terminating an employee carries legal risk, especially if the termination is not handled properly. Employment law vary and employer must comply with regulations to avoid wrongful terminations, lawsuits, or other legal consequences. Number two is reputation damage. Damage to the company reputations can occur when terminations are frequent or handled poorly. This can lead to the negative perceptions among employees, customers, and their communities, affecting the brand image of the companies and also creating the difficulties in attracting top talents in the future. In conclusion, employee termination is a complex process that needs carefully consideration and adherence to rules. While it can have benefits like improving performance and cutting costs, there are downsides such as legal issue and damage to the company reputations. A well-handled terminations process can contribute to the overall health of the organizations. Employee can navigate this process successfully by being fair, empathetic, and professionals, fostering a positive workplace culture.